what has been the reaction to it?
I think that it's raised a lot of concern about the viability of charter schools and where we are today.
That is Carol Burris. She's the executive director of the Network for Public Education and the author of Doomed to Fail.
A lot of people were surprised by how quickly they closed. We were surprised.
Her report found nationwide more than 1 in 4 charter schools close within just 5 years of opening. In Michigan, the numbers show an even more alarming trend.
Of all of the schools that opened since 1998 to 2022, that all of those schools that opened, that 37% of them are now closed.
The report also looked at the reasons why. It found over the last 2 years, the biggest reason for charter school closure was low enrollment. Another major reason, fraud or mismanagement.
I think in Michigan is following the same pattern that a lot of states do, and that is the primary reason for charter school closures is insufficient enrollment.
And Burris argues that is likely to hurt children and families the most. The report warns charter schools come with no guarantees.
I don't believe that report had the right conclusions.
In the charter school community, not everyone agrees with the report's assessment.
So our quick reaction was, well, there's some inconsistencies between the findings that seem to be coming out in that report and what we're experiencing in Michigan and even across the country, frankly.
Dan Quisenberry, the president of the Michigan Association of Public School Academies, admits that in the 3 decades since charter schools began operating in Michigan, some have closed, but he says that's the way it should be.
But out of 30 years of charter schools in Michigan, we see when there has been questions or concerns about either the academic performance, financial performance, enrollment of a school, that board and the authorizer do their jobs and hold that school accountable.
Here's how they work. In Michigan, a public charter school must be authorized by a public body. That could be a state public university, a community college, a K through 12 traditional school district, or an intermediate school district or ISD. The authorizer establishes a school board to oversee the operator. The operator of a charter school is like a superintendent or the administration of the school. They run the school. Meanwhile, the board and authorizer set and enforce performance expectations around academics and finances. Charter schools are tuition-free public schools. They receive per-student funding. They're also held to the same curriculum and testing standards as traditional public schools in the state.
Broad public support, regardless of demographic or partisan leanings or anything. Parents love options.
And charter school advocates say parents, families, and taxpayers can check in to determine for themselves how a charter school is doing.
You would call the school and go for a tour and ask lots of questions, find out who their authorizer is. There is information available publicly on how that school is performing and what it does.
And Quisenberry argues that charter schools are transparent financially.
All the same requirements that there are for any public school are required of charter public schools, including private organizations, whether they're for-profit or not-for-profit.
Still, there is concern even on the legislative level. Some Michigan legislators are pushing for a series of bills that would require charter schools to be more transparent.
I don't know what the secret formula is within the charter school sector, but someone's going to need to figure that out.
On the flip side, charter school advocates say they're changing the lives of students and families for the better.
We've got work to do in Michigan to improve academic outcomes and improve public education in Michigan. And as an advocate for charter public schools, we are working hard to contribute to that success.
Thanks for watching. Here's another story you may like. And subscribe to the WSBT 22 YouTube channel.